Good morning, students. I would like to recap what we just talked about, looking at a scatter plot, coming up with a linear regression, finding the residuals for each of the individuals of the class based upon their predicted values, their predicted true sizes, and then looking at the residual plot and determine if the linear model was appropriate. Okay, so let's begin. So we have to first enter our raw data. So that should already be in our calculators under list L1 and L2. L1 is our heights, and L2 is the response variable, our shoe sizes, and these were measured in female sizes. Okay, so to look at the scatter plot, we go to second y equals, go to plot 1, make sure the plot is on, choose the scatter plot, which is the first choice, and our explanatory and response variables are already in L1 and L2. And make sure you hit zoom 9 so that it adjusts the windows appropriately. Oh, I had some other plot on that confused it. Zoom 9. There we go. We can describe the association between heights and shoe sizes by discussing the direction, form, and strength. Okay, next we did the linear regression. You could do that from the standard deviation and the means, but we'll do it by the calculator. So we will hit stat, calculate, choice 4. That brought me back to the main screen. It's already programmed to choose, oh no, I don't want this choice because that's mx plus b. I prefer to have the a and b mixed up. So again, stat, calc, choice 8, linear regression, which has the b0 and b1 in the order that we like to see it as statisticians. L1 and L2 is the default. You hit enter, and it gives us the y-intercept. That is the shoe size if the height is 0. We have the slope. That's the amount that the shoe size will increase for every inch of height. We got the coefficient of determination, r squared, usually as capital R squared. 76% of the variation of the shoe sizes can be accounted for by the variation of the heights. And we have the strength of the correlation, which is obviously in the positive direction. Okay. All right, notice it's not there, so I'm going to do it again. So you could copy and paste it or type all those numbers in, but you can do it quicker by just doing. So again, I went under stat, calc 8. Then you can tell it where to put. I have to put a y1 there, and to get to that, you hit vars, y vars, function 1. Hit enter now. I just did that command, but now I have the linear regression as a function under y1. Hit graph, and there's that line. You can see which one of you guys have a positive residual. You can see which one of you guys have a negative residual. Okay. Let's actually find what the residuals are. So let's create another column on our table. I believe this is Crystal. Crystal has a shoe size of 8, but the model predicted that she would have a shoe size of 8.36. Where did this come from? So basically you have to find that point on there, but you could do it on the table by doing stat, edit. Under L3, I press up arrow to get up into that header. Press enter. And we're going to define that as that function that we put under y1. So again, we hit vars, y vars, function 1. And you have to evaluate that function for particular x values, and those x values are our actual heights. So that's under L1. To get to L1, you have to hit second 1. Close that parentheses. And when I hit enter, then we should have all of our predicted heights. So for example, I believe this is Madison. Madison has a shoe size of 6.5, but the model predicted that she was only going to have a shoe size of 5.36. Okay, so let's find her residual. And let's find the residual of everyone just by doing it on the table. So we can use another column. The residuals are the observed data minus the predicted data. We actually have columns for that already, so I'm going to define it in my table. So I press up, I press enter, and my Y was my shoe sizes. I believe I put that under L2. Y minus Y hat. The Y hat I've already calculated for each of you guys. That'd be 6.5 minus 5.36 for Madison. But for everyone, we'll just do subtracting those two columns. L2 minus L3. Madison has a positive residual, meaning that her actual shoe size, her observed shoe size is 1.13 greater than what the model predicted. Or in other words, the model underestimated her shoe size. Okay. The residuals are very useful. So let's first take a look at the residual plot. Again, the residual plots have the predicted values on the horizontal and the residuals on the vertical axis around 0. So let's go to our plots. I'll press Y equals first and turn a few of them off. I'm going to turn off the function because that will adjust the window settings, because there's going to be a whole different window screen to see these. I'm going to turn off that plot 1. I'm going to do all this in plot 2. So I can go to stat plot, scroll down to that. So it's off, so I need to turn that one on. This one is also a scatter plot. So that's already selected. And again, I want my horizontal values to be the predicted, and that was under L3. And I want my vertical axis to be the residuals. And I put that under L4 already, so that's already all set up. You have to do second 3 and second 4 to change those if those aren't right. And I have to do a different window setting, so I'll do zoom 9 again. And we can see our residuals. Okay. What do you guys think of that? Is there a pattern? Is there equal scatter above and below the line? Okay. Can you determine if the linear model was appropriate? Or is there some concerns about high predicted values or low predicted values? Okay. Let's also take a look at the distribution of our residuals. I want to see how these look if I just study those as a pile of numbers. The residuals should look normal if it's a good model. So again, how do I get to there? It's a type of plot. Here's how you could turn all the plots off by doing that. Plot 4. So go to the plots. They're all off right now. I'm going to go to plot 3. I'm going to turn that one on. I'm going to choose not a scatter plot because that's for 2 variables. I only want to look at the residuals. So that's the histogram. The residuals I put under L4. Zoom 9 again. And I can describe the distribution of the residuals and use that to determine how useful the model was to begin with. Okay. I can also use this list to find the standard error, or in other words, the standard deviation of the residuals. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments, and we'll practice some more, and we'll do the problem set for this whole process, chapters 7 and 8, next week. Have a great weekend, guys.